Hey yo, what's up guys? Leo here from your Forex back again with another video. And as you know, as we do each and every Sunday, we are back here to drop another video. So in today's video, you already know the drill, you already know the routine, especially if you are subscribed to the channel. If not, please drop a sub and a like. And anyway, without further ado, as you know, each and every Sunday, I give you the top setups of the week. Only the best setups, the setups that are most likely to play out in that week. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. But before we get straight into the video, if you're not subscribed, drop a sub. So joining me on the charts, guys, what we want to start off with here is the DXY. And as you know, each and every Sunday I break this down. The DXY is basically the dollar index, which indicates dollar strength or weakness. So for one, what I am looking at here is the dollar is currently in a very strong uptrend. And as you can see, it's a very strong and bullish uptrend. And it may possibly be targeting these highs at this point. But what I am looking for, possibly, because I am seeing a bit of dollar weakness, price might be just coming back to retest this level right here. Price might just be coming back to retest this level of support and then maybe a bounce onto the upside. But going into this week, what I am looking at personally, since the dollar is starting to weaken, I'm looking for, there's two scenarios really. In the market, there's always two scenarios, up or down. There is no in between, unless price starts consolidating. But anyway, what price may do going into this week, it may pull back into that level of support before actually pumping to the upside or pushing to the upside. Or the other scenario that I am very keen on seeing is actually a break below structure, a retest, and then a continuation to all the way to these lows, because the dollar has recently been actually weakening, especially after the PMI data that came out recently, actually on this Friday. So jumping down now onto the 4-hour time frame. So you'll see what I mean on the 4-hour time frame. Then again, this just might be a pullback into support. As you can see, price might be just testing this level before actually continuing to the upside. But I doubt that is the case, because here's the reason why. For me, these highs are too close together. These highs are too close together. Of course, price did find bullish momentum at this level, especially with this massive candlestick. But I still believe that price may break below this level and then retest before actually continuing to the downside. The dollar has been very weak actually this week. Not only weak, but it has been very slow to move to actually catch up in price. It's been very slow for some reason, and I do not know why exactly. But nonetheless, moving on to the next pair that I'm looking at is XAUUSD, which is otherwise aka known as gold. So on gold, what I'm looking at, or what I'm looking for rather, I'm simply looking maybe for a continuation of this downtrend all the way into this level of previous, actually all the way into this level of support. That may be the case, but also another scenario that I'm looking at, since gold, looking at the COT data, gold this week is actually buying, institutions are actually buying gold, meaning price may actually manage to break above. And if it does manage to break above that level of resistance, what I'll be looking for then, I'll be looking for a pullback into support before continuing to the upside, before I actually look for any bullish setups into this. But other than that, as you can see, price is still in a downtrend. So what you'll look for a continuation to the downside. And if guys, you're listening, my voice is kind of low today and I'm kind of tired actually, I'm exhausted, but nonetheless, we keep going. And at the time of recording this, is actually a Friday. I always record my videos on a Friday because I know I catch the markets live. I catch the markets live while they're still moving up and down. So nonetheless, guys, on EURUSD, I'm looking for buys, and I'll tell you why I'm looking for buys. For one, price has seemed to have found a level of support, a very strong level of support. And as you can see, last time price tested this level of support, it actually ended up creating this long impulse move all the way to the upside. So that being my reason, I'm looking for actually buys. I know you're not supposed to buy an uptrend, but I'll actually show you how to buy. I'll show you how to buy in this scenario and what I'm looking for in order for me to take buys. So the reason why I'm looking for buys is because price has now failed to continue creating lower lows and lower highs. So to creating that lower low, now it's bound, or almost, it might be creating a new lower high. But now, because price has broken previous lower lows, so if price manages to push above this level of this previous higher low, it may end up creating a higher high and then retesting, creating a higher low, which is exactly what I'm looking for before taking buys to the upside. So, and the reason why I'm keen on that setup and actually going against the dollar going to this week is because institutional traders are also buying the euro and selling the dollar. And if you want more information on the COT data, just type in the comment section right now. Just type COT data and I'll actually break it down for you in detail in a separate video on what COT data is. But just to keep it brief, COT data is basically the commitment of traders report, which reports what the banks are doing, what the institutions are doing, the people who actually move the markets. And this helps me trade more accurately and more efficiently, not trading against them, but with them rather. Anyway, this is something I am looking for going into this week. This may be the scenario, maybe not exactly that, but that may be it. So the next pair that I'm looking at right now, let's jump on AUD CAD, let's jump on the daily charts. So AUD CAD daily charts, something similar to EURUSD, but in this case, I'd like for people to practice caution if they are planning on taking the setup. So for one, the reason being is because price here is still in the downtrend, and as you can see here, just give me a sec. As you can see here, price is still in the downtrend, but price now may have found a level of support. If you look here, this may have been a level of support and price may be bouncing on that level. So the reason being why I'm saying I'm looking for buys going through this week on USD CAD, actually not USD CAD, AUD CAD, is because the last time price managed to reach this level or test this level, it pushed upwards and it had a lot of bullish momentum. This may be the case going into this week, but maybe looking for buys going into this level, which I don't advise taking buys into a level of resistance, but this may be an opportunity for those of you who'd like to buy in a downtrend, which I do not advise at all. From here, this is where the opportunity for me comes in, because if price does manage to come into this level of resistance, this may be a great opportunity to actually sell this all the way to the downside. But you'll need a lot of patience in order for you to do that. Luckily, you have me to keep you updated each and every Sunday. I follow up on these setups, and if they do fall through, I'll let you know and tell you don't actually take the setup. Nonetheless, as you can see, we'll have a massive risk to reward going into that week, depending on how accurate we are on our entries. But now let's break it down in the 4-hour time frame, and actually let me show you what I mean. So jumping down now onto the 4-hour time frame, the reason why is very similar to EURUSD actually, on why I'm looking for buys going into this week. It's because price now, for those of you who know patterns, I don't really trade patterns, but I trade price action and momentum and what price is actually doing. So Feb has been a bearish month for AUD CAD, and as you can see, it had a lot of bearish momentum. But now going into recent times, as you can see, price only managed to create but going into recent times, as you can see, price has been losing bearish momentum, and the presence of bulls has been more and more present. And as you can see, they have a lot of presence in the market right now. with all of these bullish candles, and people are actually buying this, or institutions rather are actually looking to buy this. And actually going to this week, AUD CAD is actually selling and CAD is buying, which is a good indicator. So as you can see, momentum was bearish. Now price has failed to continue with that trend. Now this is the next move. This may be the next move going into this week. But before that, if you're looking to take the setup, which will be a very short setup for you, is a retest, then a buy all the way up into this level, which can actually be a very profitable setup if you are very patient with the setup. These kind of setups can be very profitable and very accurate because I know exactly how price is going to move. It's going to pull back. Of course, I'm not a genie. This all comes down to experience and actually spending time with the markets. Anyway, moving on to the next setup, NZD CAD, which is another setup that I'm looking for something very similar on NZD CAD. As you can see, it's very similar in price action. So this NZD CAD on the 4-hour time frame, and here what I'm looking for something very similar. I've already broken this down technically, but here the difference being is that you're not buying in a downtrend. Instead, price has now stopped entirely its downward momentum, meaning, as you can see, price doesn't move in one leg. Price moves in impulse correction and impulse correction. So as you can see, this has been an impulse, then a correction, and then now we're looking for the next impulse. Of course, you need to be very patient in order for you to catch this whole upcoming leg, which is why this is one of the best setups that I have actually here on my hot list. I'm looking for buys on the setup. So what I'm looking for exactly, I'm looking for a break and retest. So break, retest, continuation to the upside, of course. And that way, I'll be looking for buying opportunities all the way to the upside. If price keeps on pulling back, I'll keep on buying, keep on adding positions. But that's my strategy. I'm not advising anyone to actually do that. Nonetheless, next setup is AUD JPY. This starts on the daily time frame. So the reason why I'm starting on the daily time frame is to get the bigger picture of the market, actually what the market is doing. So last week, or a few weeks back, I actually shared a sell setup of AUD CAD. I missed the setup. This was the setup right there. I missed the setup. Price sold all the way to the downside. I missed that setup, unfortunately, but simply because price did not retest. So I just left the setup on purpose. So here, what we're looking at, AUD CAD, or AUD JPY rather, is currently in sort of like a consolidation period, I could say. It is in the consolidation period because if you look at these highs right here, if price manages to break this previous high at this point, this might be a good move. But nonetheless, it managed to break the recent highs, which are these highs right there, which is why I'm looking for buy opportunities going to this week. So let's jump down onto the 4-hour time frame and let me show you exactly what I mean when I say I'm looking for buy opportunities. As you can see, price managed to break above this level of structure very cleanly. As you can see, those are the previous two highs. Price rejected coming into this level of resistance, rejected again, but actually managed to push above this level. Now, every time price breaks above a level, what we look for next is a correction and an impulse. So as you can see, that is exactly what we're looking at going into this week. We're looking for buys, AUD JPY. So next setup that I'm looking at or looking for rather, excuse me, it's NZD JPY. NZD JPY is actually a setup that I caught recently, and I shared with you actually in the last week's video. If you have not checked that out, please go back, watch that video, and actually you'll learn a lot from my videos. Each and every Sunday I'll be dropping a video, and I also drop videos on Fridays. Unfortunately, this Friday I didn't drop a video for various reasons. but promise next week Friday I'll be dropping a video, I promise. Anyway, nonetheless, this is a setup. This is a setup that I actually took because I saw something very similar to the current setup that I shared on AUD JPY, and that is price breaking above structure, retesting. Now, as you can see, price always does what it does. It retests, continues, and impulses all the way to the upside. I actually took two setups on two different accounts on this one. So two setups, two different accounts, and profitable so far. But it's not all good, because I actually ended up losing one of my setups, which is GBP USD, and I got stopped out, unfortunately. And as you can see, I actually closed my setups because I closed this particular setup because I saw presence coming into the market and price did buy, and as you can see, I just managed to close the setup before it actually hit my TP. My TP was somewhere around this level, this line here, so I closed before that. Anyway, nonetheless, this next setup that I'll be sharing with you is CAD JPY. This setup is very slow and it's taking its sweet time. What I was looking for at the setup is for price, and this was at this level. This is a setup that I actually shared with the NZD setup. I said I'm looking for break, retest, and then a continuation. Price only barely managed to touch my Fibonacci level, which was enough to not take me out, but was enough to keep me out of the setup, to keep me from actually taking this buy setup. So I just let it go. So going into this week, possibly what we may see, if possible, I would like to see a pullback into this level, a deeper retrace before continuing to the upside. If not, price may just continue in its impulse leg. Price may just continue in that trend. Nonetheless, we're looking for buys in CAD JPY, and then this USD CHF. USD CHF most very similar to the DXY because the US dollar comes before the Swiss franc. So yeah. Anyway, Swiss franc, US dollar, Swiss franc is one that I've been looking at for quite a while, and I'll look at this from the weekly perspective because I just want you to identify with how important these major time frames are. So if I take my Fibonacci level, right, and I take it from the high to the low of this impulse, because at the end of the day, this pair is still in a downtrend. And if you take this on the weekly time frame, here's another thing: the higher the time frame, the more influential it is. So whatever happens with the higher time frames will automatically influence the smaller time frames. Nonetheless, so as you can see on the weekly time frame, we're actually currently in the golden zone, which is where people mostly sell. Not just people, actually institutions sell. That is where they look for their selling opportunities, where everyone thinks price is now going in an uptrend, but it's actually not in an uptrend, it's actually in a downtrend. Anyway, nonetheless, in a downtrend. So what I'm looking for, how am I going to approach actually the setup, since there is no proper levels of structure? I'll let you know. So for one, I'm looking for price to break some levels of previous structure. So let's zoom in. Some levels of previous support, now turning it into resistance. One of them is actually being this trend line that I have here, this trend channel rather, not trend line, trend channel. And the other being this level that I'm about to draw, actually, this level of support. So if price does manage to break below this level of support, what I'm looking for, this would be the case. What I'm looking for then is a break, retest, continuation to the downside all the way up until those lows. And that is where exactly I'd be holding the setup. No matter how long it takes to get to that level, this is how long we're actually going to hold this setup. So I'm very hopeful that price will actually play out this way, because the dollar is actually weakening, if you all don't know. So if you keep up with my videos, you'll actually know that the dollar is weakening. It does strengthen from week to week, but sometimes it weakens, like this time. So if you've enjoyed this video, guys, please drop a like, subscribe, and comment down in the comment section as to what you would like to see next on my channel where you'd like me to see improve, because I'm open to constructive criticism or just, advice in general. Nonetheless, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.